Good morning and welcome to the garden. Today we're going to be demonstrating the use of our round oasis wreath, which is for live materials. I have a finished one over here so you can get an idea of what it can look like. First of all, I want to stress that think of this as a 4 seasons project. Just switch out your materials for the appropriate season. So this is our wreath, and we've soaked it in water so that the oasis is nice and moist. This can be set on a table or it can be hung. If you're going to hang it, you're going to use some wire, make a sturdy hook, and then you're going to take some florist tape and wrap it around those wires because we don't want to scratch our front door or whatever it is that where we're going to be hanging it. So we would just cover the loose wires with some floral tape here. Just like this. We would just be wrapping it around. Now, one of the most important things to remember in your floral designs is always cover your mechanics. And what do I mean by mechanics? Mechanics are the picks, the tape, and the form itself. So if we're not going to completely cover this with plant materials, we might want to use something like Spanish moss to cover our base first. And we're simply going to lay the moss over the form. And then we're going to take our wire, which I have pre-cut, and we're going to bend it in half, and we're going to make a little pick. And this is going to, and we're going to insert it here and there, and that's going to hold the moss in place. Now, when you're working with a wreath, there's no right or wrong. It can be symmetrical, it can be asymmetrical. If you're doing a symmetrical design, then it's going to be evenly balanced. Asymmetrical, of course, is an off-center. I myself am an off-center person, so if you're doing asymmetrical, always remember a general design principle is that an odd number is more pleasing than an even number. Also, you don't have to start the wreath up here. You can start it over here. You can do any way that pleases you. And then I have some boxwood here. After we've covered this, then we're going to be using our live materials. And what you're going to do is, boxwood is very pliable and a really nice material to use. But you can use any live material in your garden. And we're going to start layering it counterclockwise, if you can see how I'm overlapping it a little bit. And if the stem is strong enough, you're really not even going to need anything else. You're just going to be inserting it in the oasis. And we're just going to keep going around and around till we fill this up. We want this to lay a little bit down. And then in this wreath I've used some bay laurel, which is bay leaves, as we know, and I've used some rosemary, and we have some rosemary over here that I'm going to clip. So this is kind of a combination of using some herbs and some floral elements. So with the rosemary, basically you just want to strip off enough of the leaf, and you can stick this directly in. Now if you have softer materials, say this flower, you're going to want to pick it. And these are picks, and this is what you're going to use to pick it. So I have a small pick here, And normally I would do a small grouping. So I have some Sweet William here, and I'm going to cut that off, and I'm going to hold the plant material to the pick, and I'm going to wrap the pick around it. And then I'm going to go ahead and insert it into the oasis like that. Now another thing that you might want to use is this little object. It's called a handy Andy. They're reusable, and if you would like to have a candle in your arrangement, you would put the handy Andy in, and then when it's all done, you would put your candle in it. So this is the basic construction of the wreath. You can use any materials, any live materials you wish. The most important thing is to make sure that we're not seeing the base. That's covering your mechanics. I could also use some green Santalina. We have it. It comes also in a silver tone. And these are some of the herbs that we feature here in the garden. And I'm just going to snip off some of this. And again, this is pretty sturdy, so I really don't need a pick for this. I only need a pick for the more fragile items, live items that you are going to be using in your wreath. So that's pretty much the basics of how you would use this. Now, because you have live material, the oasis does hold quite a bit of water, but you're going to want to refresh this from time to time. So I would take this and I would put it in the sink, and I would just take a gentle sprinkle of water from your kitchen hose and go over it every few days, just to make sure that the oasis doesn't dry out. And the important thing is you want to soak the oasis long enough so that all the air bubbles come out of the oasis, so you don't have any dead spots in your oasis, because that's also going to lead to your live materials not lasting as long as you would like. Another wonderful thing that you could use is Poet's Laurel, which we did grow in the garden here, and it has a bamboo sort of look to it. It's an understory tree, and this is just very, very nice just to stick it in here. But the basic thing is you're going to put down your first layer. Then you're going to put down your next layer, laying it over each other, going counterclockwise. Then you're going to come back in and you're going to add your other elements to give it some interest. And that's basically what you can do. And as I said, think 4 seasons. Think of this covered in boxwood at Christmas, or in fall with some mums in here would also be nice. This is a spring summer wreath that I've put together with some roses and some flowers that I had in my garden. So it's a very handy piece of equipment and very, very lovely on the table, or again, you can hang this. So that's how we use our round oasis wreath.